We out here, guys. Hello. The day is upon us.
Ready to go.
Bri, how are you feeling today, sir?
I'm good. I just finished the espresso.
Oh, let's go.
I got the big thing of water, and if things get a little crazy, I got the non-alcoholic light beer. So
I love it. You know, like you're setting up for an intense session when there's like three different liquids, an upper,
yeah,
a downer, a can of beef jerky.
I just don't know what decisions you're gonna make that are gonna inspire
Neither do I.
whatever kind of thirst.
It's like, will it be a thirst of excitement, of panic? Who can say? Oh my gosh. I would
It's
just,
always that's also a stall tactic. Like, wow, you
yes.
want to know that horse's name, do you?
Yeah, 100%. That's why I think old people move so slow. They never say
Old
anything
people.
stupid because they're always buying time. No, man.
Yeah.
I'm pumped too. Can't wait to get in there. Guys, thanks for joining us. New Moon Chronicles. I guess this is the fourth time we're doing it, but I'm calling it episode 2, part 2.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Because
Yeah.
we've been flip-flopping.
hmm
Yeah, I mean, talk to me, Bri. How's it? How are we feeling 4 episodes in?
Feeling great. It's so cool. Every other week is a bit of a like you kind of forget about the story a little bit, and then it's like, oh yeah, wait a minute. And I think so much time has been left to kind of uh, really kind of think about. I'm glad I hadn't written too much because now after meeting Gabriella, I'm so curious of what she's going to do. And so like
Yes.
it alters the way I put choices and decisions, I think, you know?
Got you, dude. That makes sense. I like
Yeah.
that. I feel like that's a good thing.
So yeah. But also I'm stoked for Coleridge's demise. I just don't he's just not very powerful. He rolled a 1 damage. I don't think I've ever done that in any game I've ever done. Period. I was like,
It is
ooh, well,
very hard to do only 1 point of damage. That's actually a
yeah.
great point.
I was
Well,
like, well, we're never doing we are never going to be doing Eldritch Blast again because I built a warlock wrong. Yeah, that's okay. But we don't have to think about that for another week.
honestly, without multi-classing, I'm not sure anyone can show me the warlock built right.
Yeah.
It's for me. I love playing them, but they're always a class that needs a party in a big way. So the
Or
1-on-1,
or magical items, hint hint.
bro. I gave you 100 gold pieces. Okay, do what you will with it. Get yourself geared up.
All right.
That was my
Yeah,
thought. Buy some health.
yeah. I need a lot of things. 100 gold piece. Yeah. It's all right. You'll find out what he's plotting. He's a plotter, that one.
I cannot wait. Bri, is there music going just real quick before we jump into
No, there
this?
isn't. Do you want the music on?
Whatever you want. I just wanted to make sure that I still
I was gonna
had it
start the
plugged in
music
right.
when I started the speech, my friend.
Well, you
But
tell
we,
me, man. I'm just here to get my girl off the island, or start a new life there. I'm not sure.
wow, whatever you want to do, I shall provide. You can go off the island if you'd like. Can you hear the music now?
Yes,
Okay,
let's go.
good. Um, yeah. Well, now that I hear this music, I kind of want to get into it.
Please, brother.
Anything you want to talk about before?
Just that I kind of want to put up a background of a beach as well, and then I'm also so weirdly nervous. You got me so good at the end of last, like my stomach dropped at
Yeah.
the idea of coming back and not seeing the mast or the sails that I was expecting to see, that I, disembarked from. That was very jarring.
Wow. Well, we'll get back into it. But first, before we get to that moment in time with Gabriella standing abandoned on the docks of this strange tropical town, there's a story first, or more of a myth of the lands,
Fuck yeah.
passed down from family to family, generation to generation, to remind us where we come from. And, well, it goes something like this. before man, before giants, before land or sea. The Titan brothers of fire and ice were divided by their father Axis when he forged the great Midland Peaks. And for eons, the north was a fiery tempest of molten magma, and the south was an icy, frozen waste. And after eons, the Titan brothers created the storm god Requelin, and Requelin could pass the great Midland Peaks forged by Axis. Requelin carried southern ice into the northern fires, and northern fires into the southern ices. And with each drop of molten fire into the icy plains of the south, and each snow delivered to the molten rock of the north, the first land was made. And from land came life. Grasses grew into shrubs, and shrubs grew into trees, until the fire titan looked at his once molten kingdom and instead saw fields and forests. He became furious and flailed and raged and burned the forest down into ash. But the Titan was weaker than he had once been, and with every forest that was destroyed, a new one was born. The fire titan swelled into a rage and gathered burned husks of dead trees and large stones and flew high into the sky and shaped himself into a gigantic meteor of fire and fury. Swirling in the skies above, the fire titan gathered what was left of his strength and drove back down into the land, hoping to shatter the entire world. When the fire titan crashed, the land burst, and giant rocks scattered and flew thousands of leagues. Geysers of magma erupted, and the land was sundered. But not entirely. That was the last rage of the Titan, and the land outlasted him. The molten fields cooled once again into rich soils, grasses grew, and commercials came on. Grasses grew. Hold on. And I got... All right.
No, I'm loving this, man.
Sorry. Yeah, grasses grew, and shrubs and trees, and once again, forests. And the giant gashes in the land that sundering had created filled with melted ice and birthed the first seas. The rocks that scattered created the islands of the north, the far-flung. And the once great primordial force that was the fire titan now lay shattered and buried under the islands in the north.
Yeah.
The islands soothe the titan's rage and keep him dormant so that life may prosper. This is why we take care of the land. The land holds the fragments of the titan. If the land feels betrayed by those that live on it, the land will reform, and an age of the second sundering will begin. Gabriella, you have been abandoned, left on this strange tropical port town known as Portafino, high in the balmy northern far-flung islands. You arrived on your father's ship this morning. Your father gave you a letter in a small black paper box and asked you to find an old friend of his named Marcellus, a man you had met a long time ago in your early youth. Marcellus and his wife, Patricia, used to sail with your father while you played at home with his daughter, Jacqueline. And not knowing where Marcellus lived, you found yourself in the bustling market area of a port city where a local man, Emery, promised to guide you and ended up leading you to some pretty good buttered clams. Canary clams. They were pretty good. Okay. And he also led you to a bogus silk merchant who luckily only got away with a few of your gold pieces. You, however, found a more honest tradeswoman, Rosie, who told you that Marcellus lives in the high grass hills that rise to the west. And that along the way, you saw island youths having a contest on the beach where they would run up the face of waves, kind of like behind me, and twirl their long red silk scarves that would somehow propel them high into the air, where they would try to whip one another before safely falling into the ocean below. You climbed the grass hills, eventually finding Marcellus alone, his wife having left for an adventure, and his daughter now enrolled in an art studio south of the divide in Gibbs. Marcellus carefully read the letter and opened the box your father had given you, then allowed you to explore his greenhouse while he crafted a few potions to return to your father. He gave you the potions, and you dutifully returned to the docks in the evening light, only to find your father's ship gone. Perhaps it was docked in another dock, or being repaired, but in your heart, I think you knew. You looked out across the ocean, desperate to see the mast of your father's ship in the evening's last light, but you saw nothing. And when you turned, Marcellus was walking up the dock behind you. He put his arm around you and asked you to sit and drink with him on the docks for a while. And that is where you are now. You can hear, you can hear the gentle, you can hear the gentle lapping of the waves against the rock piles and dock poles. It is dark, the only light being provided by the moon and the glowing lanterns that float up above the market and main streets of town. Music can be heard from a distance, drums, long fiddles, and pipes. Marcellus pulls out the letter you had given him, and he hands it to you. Yeah, this is the letter your father asked you to give me. Take your time reading it.
Thank you,
He hands it over to you.
Just thank you. I appreciate it. I take it from him and still kind of in shock. I mean, I know it's sort of dark. I know I didn't see it, but I can't help but like scanning back different areas along the horizon line. And I know he's, well, I'm just going to turn my back to him and step away 6 or 7 paces and crack open this unfold this letter and read it.
So you read, and it's lengthy. And your father kind of repeats himself kind of over and over again. Make an investigation check.
14.
14. It's strange. You see, as you're reading it, there's no mention of, I mean, there is mention of coming back to dinner and having dinner with him and yourself, right? But that didn't happen. But somehow Marcellus knows. So there's something strange about it. And Marcellus kind of comes to you, and it's dark, and as you're kind of holding it up, it's hard to see. You should have probably made that a disadvantage, but that's okay, because Marcellus takes out a little tube full of what looks like a black liquid, and he shakes it. And as he shakes it, this light begins to kind of illuminate around you and glow, and almost as if there's daylight. And it's a little easier to read. And he puts his hand on his shoulder and he says, "Look a little closer and try again." Make another investigation check.
Well, that's a 9. You see, Gabriella starts to kind of tear up a little bit. She can't really see.
It's okay. It has been a long day for you.
It has. It really has.
Crying.
Why? What is this? I mean, why would he even mention having dinner with all of us and then pull up anchor? I mean, why? Why? You said that you owed him a debt, but you never really specified. How am I tied up in that?
And he points to the paper. You see your name written there, Gabriella?
Yeah.
Isn't it a strange marking the L. And you see there's it's like a little cross, almost like a T, but at the bottom, and there's like a little hook at the end of it, like a fish hook.
So what? It's, and I'm
Your
like,
father was. There's a secret message in the letter, Gabriella. Your father told me that with that hook, he says that you do not know of the message you contain. He had to leave and entrusted and had hoped that I would take care of you. He mentioned that you had a teacher, but somehow through his mistakes, your father's mistakes and indulgences, you lost that teacher.
yeah, I mean, father wouldn't pay for him. It wasn't. I mean, I wouldn't. I didn't. I love my time with Brist. He taught me more than I've learned from either one of my parents combined. You see, she crumples the letter, like in her hand.
No, don't do that.
Fucking care. Why? I don't. He's taken on, and he's probably starting over, and I just didn't think I would have to do the same. But just don't fucking put a hand on me and don't lie to me. And no holding back. I mean, if there's more that you know about this, about why the fuck, about any of all, then tell me, alright? I won't have room for a second chance there.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
Oh, first one was good. Oh my god, I rolled an 18 and then a natural 20. For a total of 22.
22.
Yeah.
Very nice. He almost puts his hand on you and doesn't. Kind of pulls it back.
Yeah, don't.
Sorry. I miss my own daughter, I suppose. I imagine your father. Well, I don't want to lie to you, but he's going to a very dangerous place. The place where he found this flower that you had given me.
And I saw that there was that sort of burnt orange, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't think he wanted you coming along. But he didn't want you staying in Pyrospon either. I imagine he thought my wife was still here and that she would teach you to follow her ways. She was a great wizard. Fortunately, she's not, and, well, I don't. My magics are different means, but there is magic in the island. You'd like to stay, but of course you can leave. Those potions will get you most to any port city in the north. Another thing your father asked me for is to send him more potions throughout the year.
So you know where he went?
I do.
Well, tell me then. I don't have a fucking ship. I don't have wings.
You can't follow him, Gabriella. It will meet your demise. Not yet, anyhow.
I'd like to at least know. Or your wife, does she have any books, or did she keep any sort of records of these tightly bound scrolls or papers? I mean, just because it means nothing to you and you can't understand it doesn't mean that I wouldn't be able to maybe piece something together.
Everything that she had of an arcane nature she took with her. But sure, I'd be able to help you out with a few small things. I have a few tricks. How good are you?
I don't know, probably better than you. I don't know a lot. When my father said that he wouldn't be able to pay for Brist anymore, it was... well, it was right as I was starting to feel like I was kind of putting things all together, you know. But... I don't know. What do you mean when you say there's magic here, like, in and of the island? Or there's some sorcerer that lives off in some hilltop? Or did you just mean you and your wife?
There's magic if you look for it. And as he says that, he sees this small spider crawling across the ground, very tiny, about this big. And he bends down. Run away. And the spider kind of crawls into his hand and he pulls it up and looks at it. And looks, under the glowing light, and the spider kind of just is standing there. It's like swelling a little bit, uncertain. Raised in captivity or born in captivity, and he points and there's these warehouses behind you. Behind us, this is where they manufacture spider silk. It's the main export of this town and many like it. And it's gone off now, escaped out of some window crack or another to find their way new again. But how strange it must be to realize that you're part of such a larger world than you ever expected. And as he says that, the spider takes a step off of his hand and kind of steps onto the air, and another step onto the air as if it's walking on air. There's nothing below it, and it begins to kind of float upwards and walk upwards, and it kind of walks right across the front of your face until it kind of goes right outside of the light. So long, friend. Now we witness young soul off to another adventure. But it cannot fly forever, so just be careful where we step. I can help you in some ways, and then we can send you somewhere else. Whatever you would like, young girl.
You see her, like, still has this letter kind of balled up in her left hand, and she's sort of just looking out back to Marcellus. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be that cross. I don't know what I want. I wanted to help my father. I thought I was. I certainly thought I had been, but well, not long ago, well, my mum, I guess she's my mum, but she's not my natural mother. I mean, even now on my father's ship, I mean, if he's sailing into peril, he's doing it with his own seed growing in the belly of some woman. I'm not sure he brought on board, or was a member of the crew. Well, I'd like to learn enough that I could go and maybe find my mother, if she's even around to be found, but I don't mean to take out my own disappointment onto you, Marcellus. I know you've always been kind to me, and Jacqueline is a dear friend. I wish she was here now. Even if, yeah, even if, well, I guess I'm happy she's not, but, um, yeah, you see she, like, wipes her hands and wipes her eyes and sort of takes in that spider and smiles for the first time in, like an hour. It's a really neat trick. How'd you do that? Were you suspending the spider? Were you sort of controlling the air beneath? I saw bits, but I couldn't really put all that together.
Oh, it wasn't me. And he kind of laughs. The spider did that all on its own. Such a small thing. Doesn't even know what a power that is. It just comes natural.
Well, must be easy, not having to pay a tutor to learn how to walk on the air.
There are some that believe you watch them close enough and study them as you would a book or a lesson. You may learn how to walk on air yourself. But in any case, there are no ships leaving tonight. And are you so great of a wizard that you can teleport home?
No.
Then I suppose you'll need a place to sleep. I have a room empty. Used to belong to Jacqueline. You're welcome to join me on the long dark walk home.
Well, it doesn't have to be dark. You see she sort of like reaches and there's kind of loose embroidering over the top of this hood, and she touches and ignites this sort of top piece of cloth that just illuminates. Almost like putting on like sort of glowing Mickey Mouse ears.
And
yeah.
he smiles. That's quite a trick. And now and it saves me a little bit of juice. And he takes his vial and shakes it again, and it goes dark. And you can just use yours. So shall we?
Yeah. Lead on.
And you take a step off the dock, and he stops as you pass the first great spiraling tree, of which there are a few of these kind of twisting palms that you've seen since you've been here. And he kind of stops and he says, "Well, it's a little bit of a waste, but well, you see," and there's a paper lantern that's kind of stuck in the palms of it, like it had kind of floated up. "Well, I think that you'll be able to climb up there and relieve that lantern of its trouble and its burden."
It's like 20 feet up in the air. You want me to climb?
More like 40. Yeah.
Shit.
Where are those vials I gave you?
Oh, that's right. She sort of reaches into her side satchel and pulls them out. Pulls out one of the vials, and she's like, "Yeah, well, and
Drink the yellow
that's
one.
beautiful, Brian. By the way, I'm like loving this.
Yeah.
I reckon before I pop one of these, it's sort of like drinking down gold. I'm gonna need that for quills, paper. But I wonder if maybe I could just, sort of, could you shake your thing again? Because thanks, I'll use all the help I can get. And she's first, she like puts the vial back in and is going to attempt to climb up at like 20 feet.
Oh, no. I have to keep you safe.
Well,
Use the vial. I know where to get another.
all right. She takes it out in, to our health. She shoots it back. And yeah, she'll drink one of these potions of climbing.
And maybe I should have let you do it, because as you kind of put your hands on there, these trunks are very much like palm trees, only even slicker. Like you probably would have gotten 7 feet.
Oh, Oh,
you
gotcha.
know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I should have
yeah,
let you
yeah.
do it, but I was like, no, like I was like, 'cause I feel like I was Marcellus was like, no,
Yeah, no, dude, I felt
made
that
a
too. You
terrible
kidding me?
mistake, made a terrible error. But as you take this
Uh,
potion, and you're standing next to this thing, you drink it, and it's got this kind of sour taste to it, but it in a good sour kind of way, like a
I love
tearjerker
sour.
candy, you know. But your hands, like you go to put the vial back, the empty vial back, and it's kind of stuck to your hand, and it takes a little bit to kind of put the thing back, and you see your hands have this sticky quality, and when you put it onto the tree, it just sticks right onto it as if you were putting it on land.
Wow.
Um, Basically a vial of spider climbing that you have.
Fuck yeah. And
Go
she's
now. Get the relieve it of the paper lantern.
all right. I will. She sort of like starts climbing up and is still like doubtful of it, but as she feels that adhesion, she starts moving like much more quickly. And
And
yeah,
it's strange what also happens to your legs and such, even though you're wearing clothes, like you're wearing pants and shoes and such, like for some reason your legs are sticking to it as well. Like
yeah.
whenever you want, like, and it's as easy as walking up this tree.
Damn.
And a couple of people kind of walk by, um, like sailors and such, kind of looking and start staring after you. And five of them are drinking and drunk, and they're kind of cheering you on down below.
Yeah, well, I'm selling these too if you want to do it yourself. Just think on it, boys. And she's going to go up and be like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And sort of pull out this paper lantern and kind of hold it up, you know.
And he, bravo, bravo, Gabby, bravo,
I'm
Gabriella.
like waving, but it's just stuck to my hand, you know.
Where do you? How much are those things? What did you do? Can you just do that? You drank something for that? What do you do? They're all yelling at you
Yeah,
at the top.
yeah, no, it's a spell I cast. It's an incantation, but for you fellas, 75 gold pieces can be yours for the rest of your life. Well, maybe not the rest of your life, but a spell, a good while.
75 gold. They start laughing. They kind of wave their hand.
All right, 65.
They kind of stop. How many you got?
5.
I'll take four. A 35 apiece.
She's going to. That's so good. She's up here. She's like, 35 apiece, but surely masters of the sea, such as yourselves, could be able to not try to, I mean, essentially steal from the open mouth of a poor young girl. I worked
You
my whole
won't be
life.
poor after we give you 35 times 5 gold pieces.
And
You'll be the richest girl on the island.
you
The
know,
only reason we're saying it now is we're half drunk in the bag. I don't even know if we have this money. Do we have this money? I think we have this money. I don't know.
and there's let me just make sure I can actually do this.
Talk to the captain.
How these guys have kind of walked down. Are they are they close to Marcellus or
Standing right next to him, yeah.
they're next to him? Okay, tight. So I'll kind of like maybe come down a little bit if I'm 40 feet up on this thing. Well, 35 isn't unreasonable, but even if we just cut it down to 60 apiece, and I'm gonna cast Charm Person on someone on one of the sailors that has yet to speak, someone that
Okay.
hasn't sort of moved forward with this.
Are you looking, when you say not have spoken, like a more reserved or a dumber person? Who are you looking for?
I'm look. That's a great question. Ideally more reserved.
Okay. Make it a insight check just
Although,
to see who would it be.
who can say? Perhaps the dumb are of higher status amongst sailors in the land of Lucidon. I don't know.
Dumb and brave are very,
And
they're
DM,
conjoined twins.
you wanted me to roll insight.
Insight,
Okay,
just to
cool.
kind of like look and see, try to see which one is the best.
That's an 18.
An 18. Okay. Yeah, you see he's like chewing as you're kind of coming down and looking at all of them, and they're all drunk except for one. Maybe he's drunk, but he's looking at you very reserved.
Okay, then
Like kind of really biting his lip, like saying,
calculating.
wanting this thing, but not having the funds for it, as you can kind of gather, But anyway, so it's a wisdom check,
Yeah,
wisdom save.
yeah, wisdom save. And as I say that, I'm gonna be like, surely, even just 2 for 60 would be a, a steal. But
Shut up. And they all kind of get quiet. What do we have that we can lose? And the guy kind of opens up. He's like, I'm not too good at counting. And it's like, I know you're not. That's why we don't have much. What do we have that we can? I mean, we have about 180 gold pieces. 3 for 60.
okay, yeah, done, deal, masters. And I'll like drop down and maybe do like a brief bit where I'm like, don't know the power of my own magic, and like sort of like struggle, like like a bit trying to ham it up with the paper lantern. And this is just like massive coping mechanism as Gabby's trying to put on just some sort of like gaiety and sort of the curious zeal with which she moves through the world. And yeah, gonna come down and gonna pull out I'm gonna pull out 3 of these goddamn potions of climbing. I mean, I hate to lose them because I feel like they'll how long does it last, DM? Is it essentially like the spell spider climb?
You make an Arcana check of 10 to figure it out. I don't know how long spider climb lasts, but I'm gonna say, what'd you get?
I got a I think I'm massive in Arcana. Yeah, because I'm that's expertise. So that's a 25.
Okay, great. Yeah, so it lasts for, with a 25, it lasts for, depending on the potency of the potion, it either lasts for 58.5 minutes to 1 hour, 1 minute, and 15 seconds.
Got you. Okay, narrow range. I love it. I'm like, well, yeah, things haven't been like billed at the hour yet, so it's maybe not that big of a deal, right? That's so good. Okay.
It would have been an hour if you rolled a 12 or a 13, but with a 25, you can get a little bit more
there's
specific.
Some wiggle. Yeah, got it. No, not every potion by Marcellus is created equal. I totally feel that. Well, yeah, sure. Here you go, fellows. Best of luck, and don't go climbing anything tonight from the looks of you.
These will go well down south. Thank you.
No, thank you. Tell your friends. Oh shit! Sorry, hit one of the. There's a clap of thunder above her. She's like, oh wow, weather. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be long for Portafino, but Marcellus the Wise, and well, if you ever need any magical sort of aiding, come calling. Yeah.
Honestly, I hope to never come to this fucking town again. They all kind of laugh off and they kind of walk.
Fair enough.
There you are. You're doing quite well for yourself.
Yeah, I just sort of turned back to her. I'm like, yeah, well, there's a fucking idiot born every minute, so. And her whole sort of demeanor changes. These are like men like her father in her mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are men of the seas. Yeah. And they kind of, unless you want to talk to them further about anything, they're kind of starting to kind of walk away happy with their purchase. Bottle in town, and you can see kind of where they're walking to is kind of the main, where all the buildings are to the north. And these lanterns are kind of floating through this area all lit, and you can see more people kind of coming through, and you see a couple of local kind of kids run through, and they have these paper mache skull masks on.
Fuck yeah.
And they kind of run through, and you see a few more like that. But yeah.
Interesting. Marcellus, what's are these children sort of celebrating something, or are they like, part of a gang? Sir.
All of the far-flung. It's a old tradition. I believe in olden days they used to wear these skull masks in order to scare away the evil spirits that would come out during the night.
Oh.
And now they wear them. run around. I think it works just well.
I'm glad that we're not there right at this moment.
Hmm.
Damn.
And they're not scary, these masks, like they're like
And
Day
these
of
are
the Dead kind of thing.
these are no longer skull, right? I mean, these are the ones that are. I mean, these are like,
They're paper mache.
got it, got it.
Yeah, they're not skulled. Yeah, they're definitely just like molded.
Cool. Okay, then yeah, then I guess I'll just sort of. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that in. I don't think I need to necessarily pursue them. There's like 3 or 4 kids, or is this? This is the first time I've seen this, right?
Yeah, they kind of ran right by. You can
it.
definitely kind of go after them.
Well, I'm going back with Marcellus, and honestly, like she's on one. What's up with this paper lantern? Is it anything specific? Is it just sort of like a paper lantern that got lost?
The one that you have?
Yeah, the one that
make an Arcana check.
19. Or 18,
19.
18.
18. Well, so as you look at it, and it's kind of sticking to your hand, but you're kind of figuring out how to like unstick, stick.
Yeah, sure.
I think and you're kind of realizing like, oh, you can't turn a potion off.
Yeah.
Think about that.
The worst.
That might be a problem. Anyway, but you're figuring out how to let it be at your command. But as you look at this, it looks very much like the other paper lanterns that are floating above the city that are illuminated. Except there's no illumination. And it's not floating obviously anymore. But you see this like trace around it, like a very thin string kind of tied into a bow. And you get the sense that it's hard in your hands because they're so sticky, but as you kind of lose the stickiness in your hands, you get a sense that if you let it go, that the string will somehow pull it and levitate it up into the air.
Interesting. Oh, these are odd. I see what you mean when you said that there was, magic on this island. I see a bit of it. Well, maybe we get a bite to eat as well, and I'd like to see about this room, but I think I'll take you up on your offer, maybe just for an evening, one night, but perhaps longer. I don't know. I don't quite have all that sorted.
Well, let us move on then. It's getting dark, and I'm an old man who had a very long day. But we also have half a bottle to drink to keep us company on the road. And you guys continue to head up back to Marcellus's. Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, I think like Gabby is thinking about this letter, right? She's planning on going back and hopefully taking a moment and perhaps even using Identify on it. Honestly, she's like sort of like thinking about some different options because she couldn't see shit, and she's not sure she even wants to see the message, but she totally does.
Yeah.
And I think it's a similar situation, DM, with the paper masks, because I think there's she's so curious and so interested in lore, and so that kind of homage to the first peoples of Portafino or whomever was kind of popularizing that. She's definitely like interested in, and will probably kind of like as long as she can see those kids running about, her eyes followed them.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So you see, as you get you're walking through town, and you see more, or you kind of walk through town, and then you walk through that marketplace where the kids were, and you see them kind of cross through, and they're just playing tag or some kind of thing.
Sure.
And some of the kids are taking the masks off and putting them back down. But as you make another Perception check, please.
Cool. Okay, man. After some early struggles, been on a hot streak. That
Yeah.
is a 15. A 14
15.
plus 1.
As you're walking through this path, you see a couple other people, but they're not kids. You see like an old lady kind of out cooking, kind of preparing something.
And
It
how
looks,
late
you know,
is it? Like, is it crazy
it's,
late?
it, no, it's probably about 9. It's a little
Okay.
late for dinner, you know.
Got it.
But she seems to be kind of boiling something in a pot, and she's wearing this mask.
Ah, okay. Then fuck it. I'm gonna go over and rap with her.
All right.
Oh, it smells delicious over here, Mum. And
She kind of looks at you with this, and you can see it's this it's much more old. It's an older mask, still made out of paper, still with the same kind of style, not too terrifying, but a little bit more so. It's got these kind of palms fronds, like that are old and cracked, kind of coming out of the sides of it as she kind of looks up at you.
Hmm.
Teeny. And then she sees, oh, with the old Teeny. Good evening to you. And Marcellus kind of waves.
good evening.
Shalom?
I'm a friend of Jacqueline's.
Oh,
Just so taken with the craftsmanship of your mask. That's is that something that you made?
long time ago when I was a child.
Huh. And
Masks keep you safe from the darkness, girl. It has always been so, and shall always be. You walk around maskless, you tempt the fate of the demons. The shadows will come and get you.
well, I wouldn't want that. Okay. And I think her mind's sort of going, and she's not one for superstition like that, but she also just like loves. It's an overlap of like lore as well. She's like, I dig it. But I think she's curious. Does she think she could make one of these?
Yeah, I guess that would be an investigation.
Yeah.
To see like what the quality is.
Ooh. Natural 20 for a 26.
It would just be in terms of artistic merit, you know?
Got it.
Like what could you do with artistic merit?
Isn't it always?
You could definitely do it. You kind of you got a 20 something is what you said?
Yes, I got a 26.
It looks as if you could certainly buy one. You now you kind of remember seeing things in the market, like people selling them, all right? They're like touristy thing, but like this one, it looks as if it was formed on a face. Right? But it wasn't formed on this person's face.
Really?
Does that make sense?
And she's worn it since she was a
Since
child.
she was a child.
Got it.
So, you know, like there's something, the timeline is kind of, because it kind of, it sits on her head
whose
like a little
child
further.
did you eat, Mum? No, okay, cool. Track all that. Copy that.
Yeah, so you could make it, but it would take like a lot.
No,
you,
no.
you don't really know how to make paper mache, but you think you could figure it out. Although the use of paper for that,
I wouldn't be using paper for that. Yeah. I would never.
Well,
That's so great.
And as you kind of say that, you're kind of looking at like Hire Spun. It like has a ton of paper. You guys make paper. That's what you guys do. You got a lot of
Forest
trees.
is right there.
Where are people getting the paper here? And you know, it's not a lot of paper. And do the palm fronds make paper? These are all questions that kind of have you in the. Is there anything else you need from me?
Is she calling Marcellus Hebe?
She's calling both of you guys Heaney. She said
Heaney. Interesting. And does that track on like have I heard anyone addressed in such fashion?
You've been called Heaney before. Emery called you Heaney when he first met you. You know, I think he even referred to when he went to Adi, the merchant, he said something like I met this knight. Look at this Heaney I have, you know.
Got
and then when you even met Rosie called you Heaney. Basically, every Islander that you've come across has called you Heaney.
So it's Howley essentially. Is what's going on. I love it. Love it. Okay, so good. Sort of smile and no, it's lovely, and I don't want to be falling afoul of the darkness, certainly. And just to sort
You
of
will
like,
need a mask.
yeah, well, are you, I don't reckon that you're selling any, huh?
I know someone who will.
And who might that be?
And she kind of looks back, and you see inside like some kids playing, like inside this kind of
Got it.
grass hut.
She's going to,
A child must make the mask. A child has more protection against the darkness than we do. If you were to make a mask, Kini, then the mistakes that you've made in your life would be put into that skull. So we let the children build the masks because they are pure.
well, I can see some of the wisdom in that. Well, I looked to how is this hitting Marcellus?
He's just kind of standing, smiling.
Because he's not wearing a mask.
No.
Yeah. Well, a lot to mull over. I appreciate that. And again, this smells delicious. She sort of leans forward, but this time is going to summon her mage hand. And I guess it'd be rude to kind of stir it. But like she'll sort of summon it and like waft with it as she leans over. My
And
name's...
it's spectral, right? She sees it, this
Yeah.
woman?
Mhm.
She takes a step back.
Oh, so sorry. Just a bit of...
Do not bother me with your magics. Not at night, not when I'm meeting you. Go away, demon, fly! And she like that, and then you see like the kids and like another person like kind of look
react.
they come out, they like looking out at you.
No need. It's all... Well, I didn't mean it like that.
And
I'm like looking to Marcellus and back.
the
Of
the
course,
girl
I'm sorry.
means the girl means no harm.
It-
She likes to show off her ability. And please excuse. She is a good child, just a subtle bit naive. This
And like all of that is completely true. But Gabriella is like absolutely flush with embarrassment because she was showing off and she feels so bad that
you
it's
are
taken that
the
way.
darkness, girl. Beware.
I'm gonna drop the mage hand and just like the briefest of curtsies. I did not mean to startle you, Mum. Apologies. It is a very learned and well metered magic that I tap into. But look, I understand that it would be quite spooky. So, I'm sorry. I'll leave you. We will leave you. I quickly grab Marcellus's hand, and I walk away.
Mm. And as you walk away, you kind of look over your shoulder, and this family is kind of still looking at you as you kind of walk past them through the darkness.
I mean, I'm sure they're like people on Larchmont, but I sort of, soft smile and nod.
Well, one success, one failure. But you should go back in the morning. The locals are a little bit superstitious of the nights.
Yeah,
We'll make you
reckon?
that.
I mean,
Those children will make you a mask if you so like.
well, I mean, I'm not one for, some sort of weird superstition. I mean, if it's not earned, then I don't know why I'd put water into that bucket. But you don't wear a mask, Marcellus. I mean, did it give you trouble for it? Or...
The demons don't bother me, girl. Kind of smiles and winks. And at this point, you get back to his place. And it's dark, but it looks pretty lovely with the light that's cast around you. And as you enter, lights a few torches, and shows you Jacqueline's room. And Jacqueline's room is or torches, candles, lanterns. And Jacqueline's room is covered wall to wall in art. Beautiful art. In fact, we
Let,
can go ahead and put the art up in the owlbear. Well, this is Jacqueline's room. The bed's made.
fuck yeah.
I put new blankets on it after you left,
Oh my god, that's so good.
hoping that you wouldn't run off on the next strange ship. I am sorry, Gabriella. But I've lived quite a while, and sometimes it's the choices you don't make that are the most prosperous. Hard to hear, but there might be some good in spending some time here.
Appreciate the kindness.
I can teach you how to make these potions.
I'd like
It's not
that. Yeah, please. That would be. I mean, I would love that. Yeah. I'll be completely honest, Marcellus. I didn't know if they were going to work. But they do so well. I mean, I feel like I could have climbed a mountain.
You could.
And an hour's a good long while. I mean, good work there. I didn't really even know stuff like that existed. I have to ask though, and you see her like she's kind of like walked into Jacqueline's room and taken it in and taken off sort of her satchel and kind of this larger belt that has some components, some other stuff, the coin that she's just made.
Mm-hmm.
You said that whenever, Jacqueline left, that your wife left the next day, and well, I'm just. Does that happen a lot? Like, I mean, two people, they love each other, they just sort of, I don't know, go and live other lives or something. I mean.
There are. Sorry, I have an alarm spell. I trapped it. I don't know if you heard the bark. And he kind of looks and you can see this contemplation. Or make an insight check.
It's a 9.
Pauses for a long time, kind of placing his words. There are gravitational forces that pull, and they pull nature, and they pull the seas, and they pull man and woman. And they change. So what once drew her to me by a quest for knowledge and pulled her away. But as the tides rise and fall, so will Patricia.
I'm sorry, Marcellus. I must have heard.
I'm thankful for the company. It is lonely hill. What? You said you would help me. Or you would want to learn how to make these potions, yes?
Yeah, I really would, yeah.
Hold on. And he kind of runs out and gives you a brief moment alone in this room. And it's very kind of, it's weird. Like when you go into a hotel room, it feels a little bit more natural because it's so barren. And like, it's just, okay, there's nothing here.
That's what I'm paying for.
But there's a life that's been lived in this room. There's knocks on the wall where, someone had fallen. There's, not stains in the carpet, but splinters in the floorboards, where something may have happened. Someone may have, pulled a splinter out on their foot when they were a kid. There's just it's like coming into someone else's space, so it's a little uncomfortable, but it's a beautiful room and the art is incredible. And this is just one wall, and every wall is covered, and there's sculpture as well that kind
So
of
good.
mirrors this. And Marcellus comes back and he hands you a piece of paper, which I'm going to email to you now,
Sick. Okay.
and he gives you a knife.
A
And
knife.
it's a dagger. It's got a bone
Ah,
handle and a curved steel blade.
bitchin'.
Yeah. And if you can pull up that email, you see he's listed all of the all a bunch of flowers on it. And he says, I need some of these I need petals, some of these I need stems, and some of these I need leaves. And together, with maybe some other ingredients, I can make a great wonder of many things. And all of these can be found in that forest beyond the house. So tomorrow, if you'd like, go find some of these and bring them back to me. And we can start learning potions.
And I kind of look at this list, and am I familiar with any of it? Like, she's
Um,
definitely like in.
I don't. They're very kind of strange flowers. I don't.
Sure.
I make a What would it be? Make a nature check.
I just rolled a one.
I think everything. Flowers are very manicured in the city where you're from.
Hmm.
Think roses, tulips, those kind of things. Peonies are probably the most exotic, maybe an orchid, and so you see like a couple of orchid varieties here, but strange names, strange kind of colorations. And, it
Yeah,
interests you.
I will. I don't know exactly what to expect, but I do feel a little bit more confident stretching my legs in the light of day. um, yeah, I will. I will. And thank you for this. And I don't
And
know.
if you want to go home, if in the morning you wake up and you want to go to Pious Fun, I think those remaining potions you have will pay the way. Oh, and I'm sure the 100 and some gold that you got
Yeah,
will also pay the way.
I've never made that much gold in a single year, much less a day.
Um,
Couldn't have done it
very,
without all those potions. Thank you. I'll rest on it.
Yeah.
And you see, like, Gabriella's like, it really isn't her way to be like rude. I mean, like, and she feels really bad even just for that more kind of genuine and perhaps understandable outburst. But she, is trying to be as polite as possible, and is going to go back into Jacqueline's room and close the door,
Okay.
and fight back a deep, deep sense of loneliness, and those sort of waves of nostalgia that can sometimes just uncork themselves, completely unbidden from wherever they lurk in a person's heart or brain. And I think a lot of it is like seeing Jacqueline's artwork. Like, I mean, she always was kind of doing stuff, but I didn't know it was like this. And now hearing that she went to Gibbs, I kind of get it. But Gabby's gonna sort of like, spread out that paper, uncrumple it, the letter from her father. And I think she's going to take 10 minutes to try to cast Identify. Not that it will do anything. But she's going to try to, like, read it. And she's staring at that little hook, and there's that kind of that sense of perhaps hopefully a little bit of emotional space from whenever she first was examining it.
So, as you sit and when you're casting a ritual spell, you're focused on the spell and not the thing. You know, you focus like if this was a magical non-alcoholic beer can, I would be focusing on the energies in order to examine the beer can, and then after 10 minutes it would go there. And so that's what you're doing. And as you finally get it, after 10 minutes, you get this power where you can recognize, and it identifies this piece of paper as paper and ink.
Cool.
No magic.
Interesting. Interesting.
Make another investigation check.
Sure. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Natural 19. That's a 25.
I don't want to put emotions in your mouth, but I think you're a little disappointed that it didn't work. You didn't see anything from the casting of the spell. That the spell did nothing to increase your knowledge.
Yeah.
But as you look at it again, and you see that hook, you see more tiny little symbols that just could be mistaken as like leaving a pen on the paper a little bit too long. Smudge marks, repeated phrases that are a little bit different, misspelled words. You begin to see connections. But if it's almost like there's a cipher hidden here. And it's very disconcerting. You don't really know what it means, but you see, you think you see your name written in some sort of paragraph about silks for ore. And you see another word that says safe. And another word that says please. And I think that's really all you get, but you're starting to kind of figure out there's a rhythm to it, there's a placement to it, and it's very tricky.
Okay. And just because of like the Zoom aspect, it was a 25.
25, yeah.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
No, totally hard cipher. No, totally.
You can't just like learn a language.
Totally. And,
But you get very.
And she thinks it was definitely magical. So I totally. Okay, 100%. So she's gonna sort of see the perhaps some of the connection.
No, I would say this. Gabby would know that the spell did not see that.
Right.
You saw it and understood it non-magically.
Got it. Appreciate that. And that definitely, I mean, like, there was a lot of compartmentalization, like with my father. I mean, just in the sense that he was all I had once this, yeah, but it's this deep sense of hurt that is right now as anger. And I think like, as she sort of sees that, she is pissed that it wasn't by way of magic, that he's like, has even more secrets, in that sense.
Yeah.
And he'll put the letter up, and she'll just take off her cloak and that sort of outer robe, and she usually goes through a system where she'll like make sure her quills are clean. Sometimes she'll inventory as well and like think about which spells are going to be rearranged on the next day. But tonight she does none of that. She just robes and just lays on top of the blankets on this bed and stares at the ceiling for a really long time before hopefully falling asleep.
And you do. And it's nice. Like a brief break, right? It feels good to be
sweet sleep. The best of times and the best of times.
Sweet. Indeed. And you're woken up. The light coming through her windows, hitting your head in almost a jarring way. Oops, sorry.
It's fucking rowdy.
And you can see, and you saw it before in the daylight yesterday when you were here, but in this morning light, his house is kind of backed up right into a jungle, almost this jungle forest. Yeah, I would say jungle more than forest. These tropical trees, these very heavily canopied and shaded area that you can see from her window, and in the morning light, it just looks stunning.
And I think Gabby like really slept great, and it's
yeah.
Oh no, I'm just taking that in, and like the idea of yeah.
You sleep incredibly well, Gabby. In fact, you sleep so well that you should roll 2 d20s.
Fuck yeah. You know I love rolling doubles. But like in the same way that like whenever like a step parent enters and like there's that kind of need for everything to be all right, like that's her energy today. Is one of like optimism and promise. I rolled a 6 and an 18.
A 6 and an 18. Okay, great. Now you should get that D6 out because you're level 2.
Let's fucking go.
And in fact, here's the new rule. So this is my new rule, and I suggest everybody use it because I think it's great. So the average that the book gives you for what was is 4.
Right.
Okay. So it's not 4. If you want to take the book, it's 3. All right.
Okay.
It's not 4. That's ridiculous. It's 3.
Like, it's 3.5. You round down. Damn it. You round down.
Or you can roll your own hit points like a real D&D player, but you can do so at advantage.
Bro, listen. We've already talked about this. I think it's a great rule, especially like I think it's an incredible rule for small party characters.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But fuck yeah, dude. You know I've never taken the average of a dice roll in my fucking life.
Never.
So I'm just going to roll both these bad boys, huh?
Let's do it.
Okay, sweet. Roll the 5 and a 4. So I'll
5
take that 5er.
So take the 5? Okay, great.
I'm going to take the 4 out of respect to the average. No. Fuck yeah. Okay, let's go. Got a little bit of space for your girl. Cool. +6. Let's go. 13 hit points. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, man, I gotta stop using it. You can't hear this, Brian, but one of my favorite beats is like dropping right now. And I also hit a 1, which is the pig squeal. So this is sort of just to celebrate me making it all the way to level 2. I wake up in sort of the expanse of powers, the need to arcanely devour. And she's really going to spend that moment like after she's woken up and like feeling that buoy of possibility, right? To try to teleport. And she has no idea like how it goes, but she one time, like you'll notice on the back, she has 3 or 4 pieces of paper that have essentially been ruined by her trying to like redraw from memory the one time that she spent about half an hour in front of a teleportation scroll.
Okay.
This was like one of Brist's, like, and can't do it, absolutely doesn't do it, like, is on her way to ruining another piece of paper. But it's that kind of morning. She's like, it maybe should have worked.
Yeah, luck is at your side.
Good morning, Marcellus. It's a fine morning on top of that. How are we? How does it find you today?
Oh, well, the tea is good, nice and hot.
Pour me a cup, would you?
Oh, already have. Here you are. And he kind of hands one over to you. Big mug. And you see he's kind of heavy at work. He has a lot of, sorry, one second. He has a lot of, you kind of see him he's standing right outside the greenhouse, where he has a work table with a number of crucibles, mortise and pestle. He's hard at work. He's got this, apron on. You see there's certain things boiling in different ages. You see there's bins and these kind of woven baskets of
nice
ingredients. Huh?
No, it's just nice baskets. I like it.
Well, everything takes their age into account, and to get its potency quite right takes some doing. Did you sleep all right? Yeah.
I really did. Yeah, I woke up feeling more like myself than I have in quite some time. So thank you for bearing with me. I was pretty disappointed, but now I'm ready for this. And she holds up this list, and she kind of starts like asking specifics, and it's very like brown nosy, goody two shoe, like sit in the front of class type energy. You know, like, I mean, asking a lot of sort of like simple questions, softballs at first, and then you know, sort of moving into more specifics. So do you know, like, is there anywhere, I mean, and I'm sorry, DM, like, how many flowers is he asking me for?
I could tell you. I could tell you which ones I needed the most. I think if you see a bunch of these, and he points to one of the flowers, he points to the two-headed boy, in the top
Sick,
right.
Let's go. Let me zoom
He
on
says,
it. And are these all Claire?
all the paintings are Claire.
Okay, sick, and all the
Except
sketches.
for there. Well, are you talking about in the room?
Ooh.
Or no, the flowers are me.
Fuck yeah, dude. These are awesome.
So here, I'll put up the list so everyone can see.
Great.
This is what I emailed you.
Let's go. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I got so caught up. My bad.
Oh, so yeah. So these are the list he gave you.
Awesome.
All right.
Look
and
at this.
And I think you would have noticed last night, like some of these are also on Jacqueline's wall.
Yes. The basket orchid, the dragon's teeth, the bombifloria as well. Wow, did she make this as well, Marcellus? She's really captured them. I mean, I feel like I could bend my nose down and smell it.
If she had done these, they'd be much more accurate.
Wow.
These are mine. I'm better at smashing them and boiling them and putting them together than I am at drawing them. However,
both have their places.
I think that you should be able to find them fairly easily. I would say bring me what you can. And if you're wondering if it's the stem, the flower, or leaf, ask the knife.
Ask the knife.
It might help you.
And I think of it and I pull it out and ask it. Like, it can talk. Like, it'll speak back to me. Or...
In its own way. It won't say words, but it might guide your hand.
Wow.
There are all sorts of magics and different ways to change outcomes. You'll learn it eventually.
She's gonna take this list and like be thinking about that dagger, and she's then gonna step forward and be like, Marcellus, thank you. I promise you, if you show me everything you can, and if you have nothing back from me, I will take it up like a sponge takes water. And furthermore, if you're in any way interested, I will be happy to do what I can to, well, let you copy anything out of this for starters. And I sort of unroll that kind of, very sort of protected against the sea, kind of leather wrapped. It's not hard bound at all. It's like soft and malleable. But what is essentially her spell book?
As you go to hand it to him, Gabriella, I need you to listen to me very, very carefully.
Okay.
Never let anyone hold your spell.
Oh.
Never.
Even you?
Ever. You have spells in there that can cause great pain. There will be spells in there that could hurt or help. And if someone twisted the words without you knowing, you could hurt yourself. It's a disaster
I'm sorry.
when a wizard loses that book. Never let anyone touch your book.
And I think as he says that, I mean, she's like really, again, like kind of feeling embarrassed, but more like heeding it, seeing the logic in it. And she sort of looks down, and in my mind, I'm like standing right next to him. He's still like seated at the pestle-ish. But Gabby sort of nods and looks down, and for the first time in her life, has a brief moment of insight and divination. And I'm gonna roll my 2 portent rolls as I look into the bottom of this pestle. Bro, I rolled a natural 20
There you go.
and a 2. That is fucking awesome.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm so amped on that too. Somebody's fucked. Wow. Okay, I say no more. Yeah, I had a feeling you were gonna say that almost. I won't. Give it back then. Sort of pull it out and kind of smile, like,
You never took it.
yeah, you know,
You
of course.
didn't-
Like, but it was like extended. She's like, you know, like, how dare you? And sort of tucks it away. And, you know, for what it's worth, she'd left, you know, a fair amount of her stuff. She'd left like one of her daggers, replaced it with this bone one. She left a fair amount of this gold as well. Some other stuff she was worried about breaking, some backup ink. And then she'll have some tea with him and sort of, you know, dry her mouth and sort of, well, that'll be me then. Gonna try to get a jump on the morning, but I won't let you down. I'll find something, and at minimum, I'll come back when I get hungry.
Oh, it reminds me, and he kind of hands you something that's like folded over, and there's some bread and butter, and
Perfect.
if you do, yeah.
Like her stomach
But some
immediately
of those
growls.
flowers
She's like,
are already wilted.
no, I'll go then. Again, sort of this like kind of half bow, this sort of like unrelenting formality, and she's gonna. I mean, again, she's part of it's coping, but she's flying. Even that portent to her felt like incredibly auspicious. So she's making her way towards the edge of this jungle. She pulls out some bread, tears into it.
All right. You step into this jungle. As you go in, it's immense, and the heat that you haven't really gotten used to. As soon as you step into the jungle, it doesn't cool with the shade. It swells with moisture. All right. It's almost as if you're walking through rain, and a lot of the trunks of the trees have this this heavy moss that kind of grow up, and you see there's all sorts of vegetation, flowers, plants, spiky things that aren't spiky. And as you're looking at this list that he gave you, go ahead and make an investigation check as you wander this forest looking for whatever.
And as I'm sort of walking in, I'm like not touching anything, but my eyes are just drinking it in. I'm like, oh, maybe. Sort of back to the list. 2-headed boy. No. Okay, Flinda feathers. Maybe. She's sort of like constantly going back and forth, which is something she loves. She's going to bamf out this sort of dark blue sparrow, Albie.
Okay.
Hope it's not too wet for you, Albie. We're looking for these. And sort of take a moment, sort of take him from shoulder to hand and kind of hold this list up and sort of talk to him sweetly about the approach and how, you know, they've got to, you know, they're older now. They got to be a big girl, and let's more just like psyching herself up. Like, this is it. This is what life's about. I rolled a 18 on my investigation.
On your investigation, 18?
Yeah.
Okay, so it takes a little bit in the daunting of this, you know, entire jungle and so much vegetation, and this isn't really the usual place that Gabby gets her information from.
Yeah.
This isn't what she studies. If she was surrounded by walls of books and scrolls, she would be in heaven. But after a while, you start looking at these trees as if they're scrolls, and these plants as if they're they're books. And as you're kind of going through and you get deeper and deeper into the forest, you see one.
Fuck yes.
You see a basket orchid.
Oh my God, let's fucking go.
You see there's about 4 of them hanging, and they're about 25 feet hanging off of a branch of a tall tree that extends hundreds of feet in the air.
So she's sort of going to look up and be like, whoa, is that? And down again, and like sort of looks to Albie, who's like, oh, okay, well. And she'll summon her mage hand and reach towards them, and she's going to pluck all 4.
All right, she just plucks them out?
Yeah.
All right, easy enough to do.
Okay, thank God.
Day full. And we say Marcellus gave you like a little kind of basket to kind of throw things in.
Cool. And I'm so sorry, DM.
As you look at this, make a perception check. As you kind of see these basket orchids that are so beautiful.
17.
Okay, so the flower is about 5 inches in total, with this kind of netting at the bottom, and this beautiful kind of white flower, orchid type, like, extending out from the top. And as you put it in the bag and you look at it, you see it start to wither.
Oh.
And crumple. And kind of immediately just like, it just kind of looks like almost like a dead flower, dead twig.
Wow.
Quickly.
Okay. Damn. And Marcellus hadn't really mentioned anything about this, right? I know he'd mentioned something withering, but I don't think it was this, but I'm...
Make a history check. Well, just to see how well your memory is. Get over
exactly. Sorry, I should have taken a note on that. Not great, my friend. Oh, shit. Proficient, though. So 12.
Oh, that's perfect. That's what you needed.
Let's go.
You remember him telling you to ask the knife?
Oh, fuck. God damn it. And she's like, oh, fuck me. Of course. She brings it out, and she's like also like realizing that she meant as soon as she heard that from Marcellus to go and cast Identify, to take like time with it.
Okay.
But instead she sort of like moved too quickly. So she's over gonna look and be like, she looks at Albie like embarrassed. Mr. Knife?
No response.
Damn. And did I like pull? Did I pull all 4, or are there still 3 that are like hanging? You know what I mean?
You tell me.
Well, I would hope that I would pull one, see it wither, and be like, "Oh shit, that probably wasn't the move." So I I would hope. I mean, Gabby would I? Don't know. But Gabby's gonna be like, look to Albie. I don't fucking know, and take out the knife, grab it, and like hold it up to these flowers. Hold it up to these.
So you see the withered one that's kind of there. As you kind of move up, make a nature check, please.
Fuck yeah. Come on, baby. Fuck. Knew I shouldn't have used that die. 7.
Okay, 7. Now add 7 to that.
Oh, let's go. Fuck yeah. Buck
As
wild.
you kind of move the dagger over and you're not really sure what you're doing, like all of a sudden it kind of buzzes. So cool. And it buzzes and kind of jiggles in your hand, where you see the 2 things that extend out like that, basically the ovaries.
Sure.
It basically wants you to, you get the sense that you want to cut it there.
Okay, got it. And I look at that and I'm like thinking on, I'm like, wow, okay, thank you, nifty this. Oh, stand back, Albie. And this time, like, not wanting to pluck, I'm going to sort of pass over this blade to the mage hand and go and sort of stand beneath it and just gently, right where those 2 petals meet, just cut it and let it all fall.
And as it falls, it falls very slowly. I mean, they're very light, but almost like a little too slow, where you kind of get a little impatient. But it's very easy to catch in this basket because they're coming like these like balloons just descending. And yeah, you catch all of them, and it seems as you look at it that they're not losing any of their vibrancy.
Fuck yes.
And neither are the ones that are still attached.
Okay, awesome. Then just sort of like to myself, I'm glad that Mr. Marcellus gave me this. This is a dream. She looks back, and again, like, I think of Albie as just sort of like the ever-present, doll that she's like talking to. But he's alive, and and she's gonna cut off the other 2 that remain. Yeah.
So you definitely do that, and So and they fall. Now, is your intention here to go along and just keep doing that and just keep looking for flowers and keep cutting and just get as much stuff as you can? Is that
Well, I'd like to. He didn't really give me. He basically was like, I'm looking for these. Like, these are what I need to make potions. There wasn't a ratio unless we, talked about it. There also didn't seem to be like any. I mean, I think in his mind he was like, any of these as you find, as much of these as you find, was sort of Gabby's feel. But, dude, her priority is sort of exploration to a degree. I mean, she's clearly like the specificity of the different plants and fauna that she's unfamiliar with. Like she's definitely looking for these flowers, but she's looking for anything that looks particularly unique within the natural world. Some version of, some versions of what she wouldn't see in the forests of Pyrospun, for example.
well, you wouldn't see any of this in the forest of Pyrospun, but
Okay, yeah, okay, then there you go.
I would say that while you're there, go ahead and make a general perception check.
Here we go. Dude, I've rolled so many 16s. That's a 17.
17. Okay, so you begin to kind of see this natural beauty. It all makes sense to you. And as you kind of are walking through, you remember that teleportation
Yeah.
that you have. That trace.
Wait,
And for the first time that you've spent, where you kind of start looking at this jungle and the way the vines kind of twist and interlace and kind of work together, there's a specificity to it that is almost like those sigils and those God, what are they called? The glyphs, right? Oh, and you get that understanding for maybe the first time of this magic that exists in the natural world. And from there, I would like you to just make another investigation check and another nature check.
Okay. Damn. So another investigation and another nature check. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And okay, cool. Great. I'm just so tempted to use that 20, but I feel like I got to keep it in my back pocket. Okay, so the investigation was a 19.
Okay, great.
And the nature, not bad. Dude, I think it's also a 19. Let me
Did you add 7?
No, I didn't. Oh my god. That's so wild. Okay, so holy smokes. So that's a 26 on nature, okay. 19 on investigation.
As you're going through, I'll come up with a list, but we're kind of running out. You're able to kind of find new you find a lot of dragon's teeth. You find some night lovers, Bambifloria, flicker feathers. You find all these things, and you're able to, with that 27, wave the knife over and just cut. Sometimes you cut a leaf, sometimes you cut a whole stem, sometimes you get a sense really that you know what you're getting. And you're doing really well, and the basket's about half full. And you hear a rustling. And from behind you, you hear a crash. And you see a rodent about maybe comes up to your knee. And it just is cruising through at like breakneck speed. It's got these protruding teeth just like that are out and salivating. And it just goes right past you, running through and down into like, a black pit.
Damn. Okay, I'm like terrified. So happy it passed. Albie, follow it. And I'll just like sort of fling Albie off, and I'm gonna send him after this boar just to see, like, did it disappear down?
It's not a boar. Yeah, it just went down.
A rat. I'm sorry, a rat.
And it's kind of, but it's a rodent.
Got it.
Think of like a large, rat or beaver. All right, and but it's just got these like gnarly teeth, right? And as Albie goes, and you're giving your sight to Albie. Is that how this is working?
If he gets out of 100 feet, then yes, I will.
Okay, so as you go, you see. Oh wait, so you can see both until he gets out of 100 feet, or what is it?
No. I have it wrong. I'm thinking of the telepathic communication. which is like
Okay.
direct. I still control him, but yeah, once he goes, I will sort of put a hand on something, and my eyes will mist over, and I'll see through his eyes.
Okay, boom. So they go, you see, and you catch up to him pretty quickly, and you see, in front of him a spider, maybe about, I don't know, maybe a foot long, foot wide, and it's just like shooting back little things of spider webbing, and the rat is kind of dodging. This is going through. You can still hear though, right? As
Yes,
Gabby,
yes.
you hear another and like a clunkier version of something going down the same path, hitting trees, hitting like left
fuck.
and right next to your feet.
If they're still if Albie's still within 100 feet, I'm gonna be like, stay with him. And if not, I mean, I kind of just would have been like, go after him anyways. And I'll go back into my eyesight, hearing and probably feeling this vibration. And I'm gonna attempt to hide.
Okay. Well, as you hide, or as you open your eyes, you see another rodent. But this one has his head and his legs are kind of bound in this waxy, spider webbing kind of thing, and it's like really limiting his mobility as but he's still like voracious, trying, salivating. Doesn't seem to be paying you much attention. But go ahead and make a stealth check.
I rolled an 18 plus 1, 19.
Oh wow, dude, crushing it with these teen rolls.
I really am, and it's like almost been all this copper die. I'm like,
oh dude,
it's fucking it.
Yeah, you have a magnet somewhere. I don't know. So as you look, yeah, and it's just it's slower, kind of pounding through, but it's still on the same kind of track.
Shit, I feel like I have to. Does this thing? I mean, this thing looks like huge. I don't think I've ever seen a rat this big.
Yeah, no, it's bigger than any rat. I would say it comes off the ground maybe about like the spine from toes is about 2 feet, right? And maybe about 2.5 feet long. So, and the teeth are like, the biggest teeth probably are 6 inches, right? It doesn't even fit in the mouth. It goes like straight out.
Damn. So this guy looks like he's a fucking rowdy mug. From where I'm hidden, as it's passing by, I know he's like tearing by. I'm just gonna see if with the mage hand, if I can rip off some of the webbing. If that's not even an option, all good.
Sure. Go ahead and make a
Come on.
Oh, so tricky, because is it Arcana? Has to be Arcana.
I'm hoping it's like sort of a spell attack with this mage hand in a way.
Yeah,
but
I guess it would be. Yeah, I think that's good. Spell attack with mage hand. Yeah.
Oh, god damn it! Should have used the copper. I rolled a 10.
10.
That's not bad. It was a 4.
It kind of grabs onto it, but it's kind of moving still at a rate. It kind of hits it and just kind of pulls off. It gets like a little bit on the fingers, but not a lot.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So I'll let him go and be like, God damn. If there's, I'm gonna give it like, probably a 10 Mississippi or a 10 Pyrespun, and look around, and if I don't feel or see anything, I'm gonna try to go back to Albie and see like, is this rat running after the other rat? Like, what's going on?
You see the spider. You go back into Albie's vision, and you see the spider is kind of backed himself into a tree and is kind of climbing up this tree, but is kind of stuck and is hissing and has these fangs as the rodent is kind of daring approaching. It's almost like a standoff.
Damn. Okay. So let me just double check something, because I haven't been a wizard that long, much less one this capable, or really any wizard at all. Let's be real. Great. Okay, so is he outside 100 feet?
Just outside, yeah.
Okay, great. Then I'm gonna head that way.
Okay.
I'm gonna head that way, and I have the basket with me. I feel like it's been really successful. I'm sort of just like following my stomach all day, and it's been working. So I'm gonna head that direction, and oh shit, I guess none of them are touch. So classic. Okay, never mind. I will. I'll still go that way. And I think once I get in within close enough, I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay.
Oh shit! I hit the hog tie again, and I gotta remember that whenever I'm doing the number pad. So sorry, fam. A boar emerges, and then shoot. I've got Mage Armor up. I mean, I don't know why I don't have this like huge bond to the natural world, but I'm assuming this is where Spider Silk comes from. I think I'm just gonna honestly wait and watch and see what happens.
Okay, so you wait and watch. By the time you get up to it, you see one of the whatchamacallit, the rat that has been webbed has just arrived, and you get about 40 feet back of seeing him, and you see the other rat that has been there, where you saw Albie kind of fluttering above looking, lunge at the spider, and the spider kind of like quickly moves out of the way and kind of runs around the tree again. The spider shoots a webbing at him, and the webbing comes and it hits the one his right hand and kind of sticks it to the ground, and he gives a hiss, and the spider like shows its fangs as well. The other one gets there and starts rolling up and is going to attack next. What would you like to do? Yeah, we can put these guys out here.
Damn it.
Here.
This is a tough call. Okay, got it. Oh, fuck me. Damn. I'm not sure what I should do. Okay, so one of it's sort of been fighting back. They're in the middle of sort of a lot of pushback like that.
Yeah.
You know what, Brian? I think this is probably a good place to pick up, dude. Only because I'm just looking at this. Only because I'm gonna have to dip in just 2 minutes. But I will say that Gabby is going to see this and try to slowly. Well, yeah, I think she's literally just gonna stay there as hidden as she can, watching this unfold.
Well, we don't have to pick up here. I'll show you. So as you see this, one of the rats goes and attack. We have a few minutes, right? He attacks a spider. Spider dodges out of the way, shoots another webbing, misses. As it's doing that, another rat crawls up, gets it, tackles the spider. Now the rat's on top of the spider, and it's going, and it digs its fangs in, and you hear this kind of sound as it crunches through, and this high-pitched kind of squeal as the spider's legs spread out. And you see these two rats just...
Damn, this is not where I want to be as close to. This is like not my element. Gabby's going to dismiss Albie and slowly start heading away. Now I'm curious, DM. Like I've never seen any creature like this before, right? I mean, but it's just feeling like kind of par for this jungle, or is it?
So you can make a nature check, but you can't use the +7. That only works when you're using it to cut plants and stuff like that.
Totally.
You know, and it also help with basic herbalism.
All right, come on, Copper. One more roll, dude. 19 + 4, it's 23.
As you're walking back, and I think through the hunger, and it's starting to get late, and you have a lot of flowers, and all the times you've seen this jungle and like the experiencing nature kind of for the first time, and understanding it as magic and understanding it as this beautiful thing that kind of works together, there was something as you're walking out and you can't place it that disturbs you, that the rats were out of place. Nothing that you've seen here looks like that.
Right.
And it just kind of haunts you as you arrive back at Marcellus and he's smoking a long pipe in front of us saying, "Oh, you've done rather well. But let's see what you have." And we can pick up there when we
Sweet.
come
Okay,
back.
you got it. You got it.
All
Sort of
right.
like holding up the basket to him.
Yeah.
Proud as fuck. Dude,
Yeah,
Brian,
good
thank
job.
you for that. Dude, those flowers were awesome, man.
Oh, cool.
That art was fucking sick. Insomnia,
Yeah.
I love you, dude. We just had another audition tape redeemed. I will hook you up. Today is not the day because I got a jet. But appreciate you
Yeah.
guys. Brian, that was fucking rowdy, man.
Okay. Cool.
That was wild.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't have a good map for the forest, but I was like,
man, we
I
don't
meant to
need
do that
it.
today, but then I got sidetracked with some other shit.
No, that works great for me, man. That was super fun.
Cool.
Yeah, for what it's worth, yeah, like I was, because I was also considering, yeah, like I think it's probably the smart move to be back there, but yeah, I think Gabby would have like, yeah, I think she's like really curious where these rats call home. You know what I mean? Like, are there a
okay.
gang of rats? Like, I feel like I feel like that's, if I feel like it's out of place, then it feels to me worthy of minimum mulling about, floating to Marcellus. You know what I mean? Like, but no, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. We can definitely go on a rat hunt.
Yes, exactly.
2 weeks.
About to Ray of Frost that bastard.
Yeah. It's like the yeah.
It's so good. All right, guys. Well, hey, I love y'all. Appreciate you coming through. Saturday, streamiversary game. It's going to be crazy. Who knows? But I think it will be a success. And it is happening. So buckle up. Got some all-stars from the TTRPG space. Insomnia, you will see and know a bunch of people on the stream. But come through if you can. 10 a.m. Pacific. Brian, anything before we get out of here, buddy?
No, man. Thanks everybody for coming out and watching.
Yeah,
It was
truly.
fun. We'll see where this adventure goes.
Yeah, we will. And we'll pick up, I guess, either like next Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Right?
Coolidge.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
like
see.
so good. All right. Appreciate you, Insomnia. Appreciate everybody. We will catch you later.